Yeah.
Keep it rap food, keep it rap food, keep it rap food, keep it rap food.
Steady hands, cut clean, steady grind, builds dreams.
Keep it rap food, keep it rap food.
7 days a week, let the hustle speak.
Keep it rap food, keep it rap food.
No rush, no skips, no ego trips.
Keep it rap food, keep it rap food.
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 Good morning, Abilene. Bear with me as I work through our intros. I really haven't developed an intro or an outro, so you guys are going to have to bear with me. If you have any ideas, be sure to put them in the chat or in the comment wherever you're viewing this live stream, because I'm open to suggestions, right? Until then, I'm going to pay homage to some of my favorite intros, right? Obviously, that was Good Morning Vietnam, but because of the coffee mug my wife had, it made me think of Michael Scott whenever he said, "Good morning, Nashua," right? So, just a little plug for that show, right? We want to thank you for tuning in. It is another Red Alpha Mugshot Monday podcast brought to you by Red Alpha Studios. And that's another thing that we're doing right now. We're packaging all our shows, and the majority of our content creation is going to be under the umbrella of Red Alpha Studios. Just another thing that that kind of helps me keep my focus and keep my perspective where it needs to be. Red Alpha Studios. You might have been seeing some of our other shows, maybe the daily blog post that's going, but Red Alpha Studios is the team, if you want to call it, that is providing all of this content for your entertainment enjoyment, right? For your entertainment, right? We want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Ruben and Veronica. We're the owners of Red Alpha Custom Prints, located here in Abilene, Texas. Go to our website, www.redacp.com, or any one of our social media channels to see all the services that we provide. But we're a local print shop, and we would love to have you as a customer. But like I always say, it cannot be a Red Alpha Mugshot Monday. Maybe that's my intro. It cannot be a Red Alpha Mugshot Monday if we're not talking about the coffee mugs that we're drinking out of, right? You guys may have noticed that I sent out a post. This is something new. I'm sending out a post every Monday morning to kind of see what coffee mug you're drinking out of, right? Because it's important. That's a big decision, right? Especially on a Monday morning. You're like, okay, it's Monday morning. I got to get after it, right? You got your morning tasks. You got things that you got to get after. So you got to pick the right mug, make sure that the coffee is just perfect. You got the right amount of sugar in it, creamer, the foo-foo that I call it. Or if you're like me, you just drink it straight black so that you can wake up and degreasing engines, whatever the case may be, right? But I chose the brand, right, over message. The Red Alpha Mugshot Monday. Enough said. It's all about the brand. Check it out. Rat Food. The intro music is part of the Red Alpha soundtrack. I'm wearing one of our bulletproof shirts in honor of autism, right? And it's like my wife's got the Keep It Rat Food shirt, and I don't know where she got that hat, but we definitely didn't do it. So shame on her for that.
Sorry, I need a new hat.
Okay, we gotta talk to our embroidery department, which is me, to make sure that she has a Red Alpha branded or Red Alpha Studios or one of the other brands, so that she can make sure that she wears our brand. But the Red Alpha coffee mug, these should be on sale pretty soon. I've been saying that for as long as we've been doing it, but we got a couple. But if you guys want, we're gonna put the new logo on it, the one that you see here in the background. And on the other side, we're going to put Red Alpha Studios. So hopefully we can execute that. We need to submit a work order through our to our admin, our ordering person,
Mhm.
so that way we can get us some mugs and maybe give some away at our next shows, and also have them for sale, so that way we can fund this whole process.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my coffee mug. What did you pick today?
I picked The Office. Mug.
The Office, one of our favorite shows, of all time, I guess, and it's one that we can put on repeat. We speak fluent Michael Scott, fluent Dwight Schrute, Kelly Kapoor, all of them, right, Andy. And so, if you hang around us for any time, we might be like just having a conversation and we're saying something that you would hear on The Office, right? So those of you who have been following us for any time, any length of time, you know that we are fans of shows, and The Office is one of them. I know I have at least 2 to 3, maybe 4 friends that are connected with me on Facebook that share that same passion for The Office. But if you are a fan of The Office, what is your favorite line from The Office? And you cannot say that's what she said. Be original, right? Maybe your favorite character and his favorite line. Put that in the comment section if you're following us on Riverside, or if you are viewing us on YouTube or on Facebook. Put that in the comment section, and I'll make sure to LOL it as soon as I can. Right. So those are our coffee mugs. Send us a picture of the coffee mug that you're sipping from. I'd love to see your coffee mug, your mug shot. Hopefully it is a coffee mug shot and not a mug shot because you spent the weekend in jail. Right. So send us your mug shot of the day and let us know why you chose it. If there's any type of story that you have behind the mug, maybe it's just one of those days, right? It might be one of those days. So we'd love to see that, and then we'll make sure that we comment and maybe talk about it next week, right? But yeah, that's our coffee mugs of the week. We wanted to kind of move into our weekend recap. So this weekend, we didn't go out of town or anything. It was a working weekend, but even whenever we work, there's still stuff that's going on, right? I mean, it's not just like work, like, oh, I got to print this, and that's all I do is just sit there and watch the printer, and then as soon as it comes out, it's not that, right? I mean, there's still behind the scenes stuff that's going on, things that we were able to do, even though it's considered a working weekend, right? And so, on Saturday, I just woke up on the right side of the bed. We both woke up on the right side of the bed. It's like, man, this is going to be a good day. We had a lot of work. We had a deadline to meet. And so it was kind of like, all right, so let's get started. We got started with a nice little breakfast, right? What did you make for?
I made us some potato, egg, bean, and cheese burritos.
Yes. So that is a staple piece of our Saturday mornings, pretty much. We used to, before we both became full-time in business, Saturdays was like a morning breakfast thing, right? Big breakfast Saturday. And
all the stuff that we shouldn't be eating.
Yeah, when we were younger, we didn't know any better. So I'm wondering if it's because we didn't know any better. You know how they say ignorance is bliss? We didn't know that it was bad for us, so therefore it was not bad for us. But as soon as we started watching YouTube videos and TikTok videos of these doctors telling us sugar is bad, carbohydrates is bad, it just seemed like it started becoming bad for me. Yeah. Or was it that we were aging?
No, I think it had a lot to do with what we were coming across, the information.
Yeah, because it's like, man, now everything makes me sick.
Breakfast is not meant for you to be loading up on carbs and sugar.
Yeah. How dare they say that orange juice is not part of a balanced breakfast?
Is not healthy.
Right? I love orange juice.
I know the other day,
I used to.
Yesterday when I went to Walmart, I haven't bought orange juice in, I don't know, many years.
Since we woke up.
Since we woke up.
Yeah.
And, but yesterday I was like, man, I bet you orange juice with potato, egg, bean, and cheese burritos would probably hit the spot.
Yeah.
And, so I made bean and cheese burritos again yesterday. I mean,
yeah.
Now the secret is I have to get the right tortillas.
Right. Where do you get?
I get them from La Mexicana from
Oh yeah, shout out.
the Mi Ranchito brand.
Okay.
So it's a local business, right? We used to go and get our beans and tortillas when they were over here on the north side.
On the north side, over there on Ambler.
Yeah, but now they're not, so we haven't been over there. But I do get the tortillas, and I make the best burritos, right, babe?
That's right. That's right. And so second best would probably be Rojas here in Abilene.
Yeah.
My wife's first, number one, let's make that clear. And then number two will probably be Rojas over there on Ambler.
Yeah.
Ambler and Willis. So right, Ambler
Mhm.
and Willis. And so that's just part of our Saturday routine. You know, it's like, you know, we don't really have that routine during the week. It's kind of like we just get started and it's like, hey, well, maybe we need to go get burritos, or sometimes we don't even eat breakfast. It's like, what are we gonna eat for lunch? You know, so we don't really have a set schedule, you know, eating schedule during the week. But on Saturdays, we usually make it a point to like revolve the day around breakfast, right? Because it's like we want to just kick back and be normal, right? Sometimes I know I do, right? But I sure do miss the big breakfast Saturdays. I might need to take me a shot of ACV first, and then let's have a big breakfast, and then maybe one after. That way I can balance the sugar levels.
Yeah, now, I do need to make us some waffles here soon.
Yes.
Those are my staple in a big breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, because what's wrong with going into a food coma, right? What's wrong with going comatose because you overloaded on sugar? Right? As long as I don't kill myself, you know, it's like I live to tell the story, live to fight another day. But you know, every once in a while, you got to be able to indulge, right? We eat fast food all the time. I mean, don't. You know, I don't want you guys to think that we're like, you know, trying to act like something we're not, right? You know, we eat fast food, but we also fast in between. Like we're not eating all the time, you know, and then like for me, whenever it's I start feeling fat, I'm like, okay, we need to stop eating. If my clothes start fitting me too tight, I don't go buy
bigger size.
No. I don't go buy bigger clothes. I was like, okay, it's time to push the plate away. Let's fast. Let's go to the gym. And you know, the sad thing about it is that if I don't say that we're going to the gym, we're not going to the gym, right? And my wife is like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Until I'm like, we need to go. We need to go. We need to go. We need to go. About 4 times. And then she's like, okay, maybe. Right. And then so I got to lead by example. How many of the husbands out there, you know, share that burden where you got to lead by example? Well, stop crying. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be bearing the burden of the family, casting the vision, and showing the way by going there first. Right. Which this reminds me of a quote that I just came up with today, right? I said, man, that's a tweetable moment. Every morning we have an 8:00 meeting. And so I was like, you know, we're doing some things, you know, to kind of streamline our business, to automate things that could be automated, you know, that kind of deal. Right. And so, it just seems like in the process of automating our business, it seems like it's more work, right? It's more work. And I'm like, because I'm the one that's handing it off to this person and this software and this stuff. And I'm like, I'm trying to use AI to help us kind of be more efficient and stuff like that. And it's like right now, it feels like I'm actually doing more work, because before it's just like, okay, let me do the task, or let me tell my wife the task. Now I'm trying to tell you know, an AI bot, an AI agent to do this, and then you give me a handoff so I could send it to this person, and I'm the one that's running back and forth and doing it. But there's a method to the madness. What I'm hoping for is we're gonna have a fully integrated system, right? That is gonna be like, yo, what's up? What do I got to do right now? And then it's going to tell me, right? That's the goal, right? And for anyone who's in business, and you know, there's always a point, right, to where you gotta get with the program, get with the new technology, right? You know, and you got to Don't hate on it, right? Look into it because it might make your life easy. Just set the right parameters and all that stuff. That's what I'm trying to do. And so the quote that I came up with is like, it seems like the quickest path to easy street is going through hard street, right? And so you can't get to easy through easy street. You have to go through hard street and then make a left. And then there's easy street.
And then make another right, probably.
That's right. Well, if everything is not going right, try going left. Right. That's why I say left, right? And shout out to Red Alpha Racing. That's one of my design ideas that I came up with. And so that's actually the quote that I came up with, as we're trying to automate our system. And so our weekend as well, man, we saw the final episode of House of the Dragons, and man, I have my topic for this week's showmates, right? Whoever's into House of the Dragons, if you've seen the show, let me know, man, was that one of the all-time best or not? I mean, it definitely was the best episode of the season for sure. But man, I'll put that up there, like up there. I'm not sure if it's as good as Hard Home or the Battle of the Bastards or anything like that. I'm not sure, but it's up there, right? And so that last episode was a good way to end the season and to get me fired up for what's next. Right, I was getting a little bit tired of Rhaenyra and Allison doing their emotional stuff. Let's get to fighting. Let's get to fighting the Winter Wolves. Let's engage them. Let's all these feminine dudes that are running the show. Let's get some real men with swords from the north, some old men that know how to fight, and then go straighten some stuff out. And then also, did you see Damon's fight against dude? Man, that dude was strong. I thought that Damon was done for it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this dude, this is not how he dies, right? I was like, there's no way they're going to do this to him. And Rhaenyra, I don't know what's going on in her head, but in my opinion, I don't care what she said. Jon Snow, aka Aegon Targaryen, is the prince that was promised. First of all, Rhaenyra, you're not a prince. You're a princess. Right? You cannot be the prince that was, don't mess with that gender. The prophecy was specific, right? The prince that was promised, right? Don't get it twisted. Jon Snow, Aegon Targaryen, which we now know, is the prince that was promised. I don't care what they did in season 8 with Game of Thrones. Bran screwed that all up. I think it's just all Bran kind of working, through the timeline, even as far back as House of the Dragon. That is Bran doing something that he's not supposed to do. And as we learned from Rick and Morty, you do not mess with time. You don't mess with time. And that's what Bran did. So hopefully they'll be to make up for it, and we'll get Jon Snow to come back, and he'll be the prince that we've all been waiting for. Right. I mean, they resurrected him for what? Right. So the story's not over. Right. So we watched that. What else did we do? You did some cleaning up.
Yes,
for sure, man.
That's normal stuff and that I miss doing. I did laundry. I washed the dishes. I mopped. I vacuumed. I cleaned our TV screen. And I made some breakfast. And I made dinner.
Yeah.
Arroz con pollo.
Man, my wife's arroz con pollo is the bomb. It's one of those meals that I never like request, right? I never say, hey, I'm in the mood for some arroz con pollo, but I never say, no, I don't want it. Because it's good.
You better say that.
No, but for real, it's good. Your rice is one of the best out there. And, there's very few people whose rice that I tasted that are better than yours. There's some that are just as good, that are up there, right? But then there's a whole bunch of them that they don't know what they're doing with their rice, right?
Yeah.
And so my wife, her mom, there's a few, little bros, you got some good rice too. And there's a few places where the rice is actually good, where I'll be like, yeah, that's good rice. But to me, that is the sign of a good woman, right? That she can cook some rice, right? And in fact, not just the rice, but it's some carne guisada. It was like, okay, so before I allow you or before I conk you in the head with my club and drag you to my cave, let me see how you make some carne guisada rice and beans, right? And she hooked it up and I fell in love. And as you can see, I got hearts in my eyes even to this day, right? That's so because the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That's what they say.
That's what they
and
say.
that's what I say, right? And so anyways, but my wife has some really good rice. So the meal was on point. We were watching the show, and so we do things kind of interactive when we're watching the show. And so like if you come over and you're thinking you're gonna watch the show and just sit there and be quiet, don't come over during showtime, right? Because I'm sitting there cracking jokes. We'll pause it and like,
Yeah.
dude, did you see that?
Yeah.
That
And
was-
we'll talk about it.
and we'll
in the
talk
middle
about
of
it. We're crazy. We should actually record ourselves sometimes because it's like it's like that what is that theater? What is
Oh,
that
the,
theater with the robots and stuff like that? And
Oh man, you couldn't.
yeah, and so it's where it's got the robots and they're watching a movie and they're just kind of saying
They're
funny
just
stuff.
ad-libbing.
Hilarious. So we do a lot of ad lib stuff whenever we're watching. But if it's something like, "Hey, stop talking," we'll stop it and rewind it. I didn't get that part, and there was actually one part that I meant to rewind, but I didn't because but I did mention it. There was a part whenever right after Rhaenyra said that I'm the prince that was promised. I thought that I saw a red comet in the sky.
Oh.
That means something. That means something because the prophecy mentions something about that. I don't know all the details. I know there's a guy that follows a friend of mine on Facebook. You know what that's about. Send a comment. Let me know so that way we could talk about it. If not on Friday for sure during the showmates, I'm definitely going to talk about that. I'm going to break it down, y'all. It's going to be like really philosophical. It's going to be like organized. It's going to be on point. And so it's not just going to be a random thing. It's going to be really, really pulling all of the details and things that you might have missed within the show because I'm just that type of person. You know, I'm reading the books, I'm watching recap videos on YouTube, and I'm making my own perspective, you know, so that's just the way that I do it. I'm programmed. I got one of those chips from Elon Musk, you know. I'm like a robot when it comes to information, and in fact, I consider myself a trafficker of information. What movie is that from?
That is
Who said it?
Oh, hold on.
Go ahead.
And it was with the boxing family man. Matrix.
The Matrix. And so the guy's name was the Merovingian, right? The Merovingian, basically, whenever he met Neo and Trinity, they said, so did you know this or whatever? He's like, please, I am a trafficker of information. I know everything that I can.
Yeah.
And when I first heard that blew my mind. It changed my life. I was like, I need to become a trafficker of information.
And you are.
Right? That doesn't mean that you're a know-it-all. Right? Because it's like you're okay, this information you may go, this information, this is where you're going to go into my memory. This right here, I'm going to remember this so that I can say it at the right time. And then one of these days, I'm going to have a podcast called the Monday Mugshot, the Mugshot Monday podcast. And then I'm going to say it right at the specific time. And boom.
And you did it.
Right at the fullness
We're in
of
the
time,
future.
it happened. Right. So I've been waiting all of my life, ever since I heard that line on the Matrix, to say this right now.
Right now, at 9:25 in the morning.
Exhale.
August the 10th happened.
That's right. It happened, right? It was already written. Go ahead.
That show is Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Mystery Science, yeah.
Y'all go check that out. And it's hilarious. They watch a movie, old movie, and then they just talk about it and make fun of it. And it's so funny.
Yeah, it's ad lib. It's definitely funny stuff, man. And it's so I used to trip out, man, whenever the kids were watching it. I was like, I was just watching it like, what's this? I mean, because I wasn't ready for it, I guess. But then I started watching it, I was like, this is hilarious. and man, it's really cool. Because before that, I was kind of like, shush, I want to listen to the movie. Right? but that kind of takes away, because, like when you go to the theater, right? You don't want
Yeah.
people talking,
No.
right? You don't really want to be talking because you're trying to enjoy the movie, right? But when you're at home, it doesn't have to be like that, right? When you're at home, you can actually get interactive and be in the thing and
Yeah.
make each other laugh while you're watching it. And it's like, you can look over at your wife and she's crying and you're like, are you crying because of that? And those kind of things that you could do at home in your theater at home, right? That you can't do at the actual theater. Right. And so I actually did that whenever we watched Spider-Man. Like as soon as we did that, like they were, doing the intro, right? And everybody's like, yeah, they're clapping and stuff like that. And I was like, shh. Like, I don't want to hear your stuff. I want to watch I came here to watch the movie. If you got a show that you're putting on, let me know and I'll watch it afterwards. But for now, let me watch Spider-Man Brand New Day. Right. And so, but yeah, what else did we do? That's pretty much it.
We did the windows.
Oh, yeah. So that's the project we're going to talk about. We had a project that we were working on, obviously, that we did over the weekend, and that's coming up next. And on Sunday, yesterday, I met with a video crew. Shout out to Not Included Videography. Those guys are going to help us as a company, and then everything that we're doing, they're going to help us elevate our content creation. So we actually sat down for almost 2 hours, and then can you imagine hearing me talk for 2 hours? Well, just think about how it is right here, right? 45 minutes to an hour of this. Because, like I said, I am a trafficker of information, and I'll be like, I got this stuff written down, right? But I actually have it memorized. I just looked at it one time and I was like, okay, boom, I know what I'm going to talk about. I do not use a script, never use a script. In fact, we have morning meetings and they all look like this. So check that out. Can you read this? While we're doing the intro, I said, pretending to write. I wasn't taking notes. I wasn't writing down things that I need to remember. I was fooling everybody, right? I was pretending to write. And that's what I do in the morning meetings. I'm sitting there just like pretending to write, and everything is just all filed and recorded in my brain inside my Elon Musk chip. And so that's how I distribute the information that I traffic, right? And I've always been able to do this, even whenever I was in ministry. Like I know the material, right? I read the books, I read the references, I watch the sermons, those things like that. And so, but I don't need to write it down. And so even whenever we were doing the thing, I would write down like maybe some points just in case I start to veer, one way or the other. But I've always tried to have an interactive type approach because, you don't want to just be like giving the information and then people, it's like, well, I wanted to comment on that. Right. And I wanted to let you know how that, actually I have a personal testimony about it. Right. And then they give their personal testimony. And if you can't like take that and then transition and then keep going with the story, you're just going to be like going around in circles. Right. And you're never going to make a point. You're just going to be like bouncing around like a ping pong ball, right? So I've always been able to do that. The same thing with the shows and all that. It's just I don't know if it's a gift, maybe could be a curse, maybe, because on the flip side of that, it's like always running. The wheels are always turning; they never turn off, right? You can ask me at any time, "What am I thinking?" and I am thinking about something. Always. If I'm not doing it, I'm thinking about it and I'm planning it, strategizing, doing all of that stuff. Me and my imaginary friend named Fred. Right. So that's just the way we are, man. I don't know. Some people say that it's dysfunction, but God can take what the world calls dysfunction and show you how to function in the middle of it, right? So don't let anybody label you. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything. Just do it. Just go out there and try. Part of the conversation that I had with the Not Included, right? Because they're trying to transition from, working and then doing the videography full time. And I said, well, you don't want to ask me for advice. So let me tell you why. Because I'm going to tell you, hey, if you're really passionate about it, just go out and do it, right? Take the leap. Take the leap of faith and then find out what you're made of, right?
And
What
you
good
will
or bad.
find out what
Yeah.
you're made of.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you find out what you're made of, and then you kind of regroup after that, right?
Mm.
You got what it takes. You got what it takes. If you don't got what it takes, go get what it takes and then come back and try again, right? You know, if you really want to do it, keep trying. Don't let the fear of failure keep you from trying, right? Because you might just make it happen.
Yeah.
You might hit a home run right off the bat, you know? And if you do, more power to you. I struck out a bunch of times. Then I got some base hits. Then I hit some doubles. And finally I started hitting some home runs, you know? But man, it took a lot of swinging, a lot of
Yeah.
stepping up to the plate and hitting a miss, you know, swinging a miss, until I was able to get some base hits. And now I would say that we have a pretty good batting average. That's right. Pretty good batting average. And so that's enough of the weekend recap. Over the weekend, we finished up a project that we've been working on, you know, for a while now. And it's a service that we offer, through all the school systems. So if you are a principal of a school, superintendent of the school, if you're, the counterpart to Region 14, whatever that counterpart title is, right? This information is for you. Right. About 2 years ago, I think we got contacted, you know, by one of the principals at the Wiley campus, and you know, the subject was campus security. Right. It was something that, as a region, you know, the school system was looking to explore different ideas on how they can beef up their security. Right. And so we went up there. They actually presented the idea, and I was like, "Look, this is a product that we do regularly, and you know, it's something that will provide you with a little bit more, you know, privacy, but it also has a purpose of being able to, you know, tell the story that you're trying to tell." Right. In your branded colors, whatever motto the school has, mascots, things like that. And so I presented them our perforated vinyl, which is something that we've been doing with commercial companies all along, right? But for the purpose of advertising for companies, right? And so we would always go into a new company and say, okay, you know, here's window perf. This is what it is. And we explain to them how from the outside it looks like a solid print, but from the inside you got visibility, right? Well, so those kind of things are important to anybody who is you know, interested in or concerned with campus security, right? Because you want to see the people that are coming in, right? But you want to kind of deter them from seeing in, or you want to see them from inside out, but you want to deter them from looking in, right? And so any type of graphic, you know, that you can put on the outside, you know, that you can see visibility, is going to be that deterrent, because people are going to look at that. They're going to say, I'm not going to go to that school. I'm going to go to the one that doesn't have any graphics. I'm going to go to the one that doesn't have any window tint, and probably the one that doesn't have even lock their doors. Right. They're going to take the low hanging fruit. Right. And so we can help as a company. We can help you with what we call campus privacy wraps. Right. So this is a solution that's the same thing that we do for our commercial customers, but we package it as campus security. Right. So if you got any of that funding, that federal funding, and you need to spend it somewhere, give us a call. Right. If you're my friend who's just getting promoted over there in Fort Worth and you're connected, call me. We'll work something out. But I need to be connected with all the principals, all the teachers, all the superintendents, and all the region, whatever, 1 through 100 that are in Texas. So that way we can go ahead and line them up and do everybody. Why not? Why not? Because it's not really about me making all the money, right? I mean, you're helping. It's a good cause, but think about the security. We're solving a problem, right? Campus security is the problem. Red Alpha campus privacy wraps are the solution. So give us a call. So we finished up over there at Wiley. It looked really awesome.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, you know, so Here's a lesson that I learned from the project, right? Make sure that you measure every window, regardless if they all look the same,
Hmm.
right? Now, why is that important? Can you tell them?
Because you always wanna measure twice and print once.
But what happened on this one?
Well, this one we just went off the first. There's like, 1, 2, 4, 8 sections of windows, and we went by the first 2 sections. Those were the same size, and then we're like, oh, they all looked like the same size windows. So all we did is measure those 2 sections, and then I just counted. From then on, I just counted all the windows. This is the amount of windows. These are the measurements, and we were wrong.
Yeah. So the middle section, they were different
They were
sizes.
different
right?
size. They were a little bit like a few inches wider than the other one.
Yes. And so anybody who's in the wrap game, if you've ever printed and you've ever had to install, it doesn't matter if it's a trailer or anything right there, but anything where it's a long running thing where everything has to line up. If you start off and you're 1/8 of an inch over here, and then you're 1/4 of an inch on this one, and then 3/4 of an inch, and then it grows to 1 inch, 2 inch. By the time you get to the we're talking about, I don't know, 12, 15, 16 feet probably,
Mhm.
and so by the time you get to that 16 foot, you're off
Yeah.
3-4 inches, and then you're like, oh man. So we caught that early on. Had already printed the panels to install this. And then when I started, I was like, we're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
We're gonna be off. And then what we did is we like, hey, we got to reprint this because we're gonna have a big old gap.
There was 12 panels.
Yes. 12 panels already printed, ready to go.
Printed, we were ready to go.
We went up to the install.
We were going to get it done, and we're going to be on to the next, and it didn't happen that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And so all because of fundamentals, measure twice, print once.
Yeah.
Right. So we got too fancy. We got too big headed. Right. We
Yeah.
said these because actually the 2 sections that you matched, there was 2 other sections on the other side that matched
That
perfectly
matched, and we were able to get those done
Yeah.
without an issue. I think that if we would have started in the middle, we would have been like, oh, wait a minute. These are not, and just started with 1 section, not 4 sections.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we would have been like, oh, this one doesn't match. So let's, but no, we
Yeah. So, we're still making those mistakes, and because we're human, right? Even though I try to pretend that I'm not. But we still follow through. We reprint it and we got it done right on the bell ringer. Boom.
Man.
They said, you guys have to have, they didn't say it like that, but,
No, but
we said to ourselves, we got to
we
get
have
this
to
done
because
on Saturday because,
school starts.
because school's about to start, right? And so we got it done. Everything looked good. We did the vault and
We
everything.
did we wrapped the vault door, and man, that came out nice.
Mhm.
So I took a picture of the after, and then actually uploaded it to our project management card. So it looks exactly like the proof.
Man,
I mean, it
imagine
was
that.
just like exactly like the color, the brightness, and everything. That's pretty cool.
Shout out to the Red Alpha design team and print team. We have so I'm the print team, right? But my wife's also the print team. But we have 3, now 4 freelance graphic designers that work with our company, right? And so our graphic designers, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be as good as we are. As much grief as I give them, I'm pretty tough on them, right? It's like, get this done right now, right? And it's like, because we're about to get behind. But
what do you mean it's a weekend?
that's right. I don't care if it's 3:00 in the morning. I need you to reply right now. And what's up? What's going on in your life that is more important than replying to me? Right?
Right now.
Right now. Any business owners feel like that? We're kind of like, hey, what's up? And it's 3:00 in the morning, 4:00 in the morning, and no sane, normal human being is thinking about work.
Mhm.
But if you're a business owner, 24/7, right? I sleep and I'm thinking about the business. I'm awake, I'm thinking about the business. If I go to the grocery store, I'm thinking about the business. If I'm going to the restroom, I'm thinking about the business. It reminds me of a cadence that we used to sing in the Army. It was like, everywhere I go, there's a drill sergeant there. Everywhere I go, there's a drill sergeant there. Everywhere I go. Even my military guys know that one. I used to be a cadence caller, by the way, obviously. And so I used to make up,
Oatmeal.
yeah, I used to make up my cadences, for road march. But whenever we were running, I'd be the guy that's cadence calling and then, hyping everybody up and making sure that they don't quit and all of that stuff. And so, cadences was one of one of my favorite parts whenever we're going to a road march. Because imagine running for 20, 30 miles and I'm right there running with you. Right. And I'm like, I'm not just telling you to run, I'm running with you. Right. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be up front and then I'm going to come back and make sure that you don't fall out. Right. That was, it was early. Like it's almost like God was putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Right. So if you go through and look at all my life, there was instances where I was encouraging people throughout my whole life, right? But how do you become an encourager? You don't become an encourager by going through easy street. You got to go through hard street and make a left, right? If things aren't going right, try making a left. Boom, tweet that, make a meme out of it, and then let me know that you did it. And so the window wraps, right? We finally completed it. Everything's good. I put out a social media thing, as we always do. And so if you guys notice it, like, comment, share the post, maybe tag some of your fellow teachers, your fellow principals, anybody, if they're working for Region 14 or not. Like, I don't know how many regions there are. I looked at them, but I think that I know just with Region 14, it covers about 100 campuses, just with Region 14. So imagine, Region 1 through 13 and however far it goes. I mean, we're probably talking about thousands of campuses, right? I want to do every single one of them. Every single one of them. And you will not outwork me. You will not make me tired. Might be get behind, but we are going to follow through and we're going to do it.
Yeah, we always
right?
hold through.
Yeah, we might misprint. We might not measure everything twice and then print once. We might measure it once and then print 3 times. But we are going to come through right at the final buzzer and we're going to complete it and you're going to love it. And you're going to tell everybody how great that we are. Right. Just kidding. So that's our project spotlight. Right. We do more than that. But that's what we did over the weekend. And so today we're getting started with some other stuff. We got some embroidery that we got to do. We're going to make a trip coming this week. We're going to make a trip, to Austin real quick. We're going to, deliver some embroidery products to a customer. And then we're going to get to see our kids. Hopefully I get to see my grandson, right? It's also, my lady's birthday. So, join me in wishing her a happy birthday. She's 35, today. And obviously I got me a youngster, right? So she's 35 and I'm 38. And so, that's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. Right. And so, wish her a happy birthday.
On Wednesday.
It's on Wednesday, right? But you can wish her a happy birthday right now.
Wish me happy birthday still.
For the whole week.
I'll take it. Mm-hmm.
Some people take a whole week, birthday week.
I know, birthday week.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty cool.
Okay, it's your birthday today. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday week.
You could do it just like me. I do a push-up every year, right? So drop and give me 35, right? And it's
how about some air squats?
Air squats, okay. Yeah. 35 air squats on your birthday on Wednesday, right? So if you're in Austin, what place should I take my wife to eat for her birthday, right? What are some good spots? Like I know some good spots because I used to live in Austin, but I'd like to hear from the audience. Are there some restaurants that you think my wife could like? I mean, what kind of food what's your favorite?
Well, pizza is always on my list.
Italian food.
Italian. Right? I mean, I like Mexican food too.
Mm-hmm. Imagine that. Mexicans like Mexican food too.
Or in our case, it's just food.
That's just food. Yeah. Yeah.
For us.
In our case, it's just food. Right. So that gets me thinking. So if you're, from a different ethnicity, what do you call your food? You're like, man, cause I never like say to myself, I'm in the mood for some white food. I've heard of soul food. Right.
Yeah.
And, but it's like, Mexican food or Italian food. There's only some of them that have their own their own name, right?
Yeah.
Chinese food, right? And it's like, but I never hear, it's like, hey, I want to go eat some white food today, which I love white food. I'm a
Wouldn't it
hamburger,
be
hot dog.
American? Wouldn't it be American food? No, because
uh,
we're Americans too.
that's right. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. So,
Forget that.
inquiring minds want to know. Let me know. What do you call it? Right? It's like, what do you to all my Caucasian friends? What do you call your food? Is it just food? Because that's what we call it. We just want. Actually, I do say Mexican food too. Right? Yeah, because I'm Mexican American. Right?
Mexican Americans.
That's right. That's right. So that's the project spotlight, and I wanted to give shine a little bit of light into our daily blog in our Wednesday show. They're both branded, under the Behind the X's and O's brand, which is another one of the shows and another one of the, just the content forms under the Red Alpha Studios umbrella, right? And so every day we post a blog post, and we post it on our website, and it's called Behind the X's and O's. It's a blog post. And so if you read that, and if you're current, you know that we are finishing up. Today, we actually finished up the series, which I call 3 C's. And so if you know anything about the 3 C's, my main inspiration is off of a sermon that I've heard, I don't know, over 10 years, probably 10 years easily, from T.D. Jakes, where it's just talking about different people that come into your life, right? And the importance of knowing the person that comes into your life, right? So you have 3 C's, right? You have your constituents, and you have your comrades, and you have your confidants, right? So not everybody that comes into your life is a confidant, and not everybody that comes into your life is a constituent or a comrade. But I invite you to read the blog so that you can see the difference between the 3 people, the 3 types of people that come into your life. And I am working on doing a recording where I'm going to go over the 3 C's, right? So we're going to put together a special Behind the X's and O's segment. It's going to broadcast this Wednesday, and I'm going to be talking about the 3 C's. And so hopefully by the end of that video, you guys will be able to look at people and not hold on too long to the wrong people.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes people come into your life and they're not meant to travel the whole journey. You guys know just as well as I do, right? And especially if you're in business or in life in general, right? Sometimes the disappointment that we feel is because our expectations aren't properly set. Right? We think that this person came into our life and this was now a permanent person, that you are going to be with me the entire journey. Right? It just doesn't happen that way. Most of the people that we started out with, right, fall along the wayside, right? And it's okay, because that wasn't their purpose. Their purpose wasn't to walk with us everywhere. They were just to help us get to step 2, step 3, or whatever. And then there's going to be other people that are going to get into your life and they're going to help you get, go further along the journey. And the types of people that help you aren't always, a positive thing. Sometimes a person comes into your life and really teaches you what type of person you don't want to be. Right? And so those type of people serve a purpose too. And so we can't look at them and, like the Bible says, regard them after the flesh. Because even Judas had a part in the plan that took Jesus to the cross. Right? I'm just saying that Judas kiss, right? It wasn't a punch. It was a Judas kiss. Right. And so you got to look at the look at what the whole thing. Don't just look at the moment. Right. And so don't despise the Judases in your life. Just know who they are. Right. And then understand that they too have a purpose in all of this thing, because one way or the other, God is going to cause all things to work for the good to those who love him.
Yes.
Right? The good things and the bad things are all going to come together, and they are going to work for your good.
Yes.
If you love him. Right? And so I don't want to preach to you, but it just comes natural, right? So the 3 C's, make sure that you read the blog. Make sure that you tune in this coming Wednesday at 6 o'clock for the Behind the X's and O's show. Right, I'm going to be talking about the 3 C's. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. And then also, don't forget on Friday, our new show, which is the Showmates. Right, the Showmates this week. I got to talk about the House of the Dragon. We're going to break it down. It's going to be a Game of Thrones thing. And so if you're up on the show and you'd like to be a guest, let me know. We'll bring you on a guest. Just make sure that you know what you're talking about, man, because it's like, if you don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to make you look dumb.
Do your homework.
Right. Yeah. Do your homework. I'm going to make you look dumb. I'm going to be like, hey, did you read this?
Are you even a fan?
Yeah. Are you even a fan? Right. Cause I'm up on the books. I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm current on the shows, and I obsess about the things that I'm into, right? And so that's just my personality. So if you like Game of Thrones, I want somebody that makes me look dumb. Yeah, come to Game of Thrones and let's talk about it and make me look dumb. Because if you make me look dumb, it's going to be an awesome show, right? So I do not mind looking dumb for the sake of the quality of the show. The information, right? So join us on Wednesday for Behind the X's and O's. Join us again on Friday for Showmates, right? And every single day, make sure that you follow us so that way you can get your daily inspiration, your daily motivation through the Behind the X's and O's blog, and that way your life can be fulfilled. Yep. And so right here, I got written down open coffee talk. This is where we just kind of talk. Is there anything that came to mind while we were talking? I know I want to give some people a shout out. Anybody you want to give a shout out to? Anybody that you work with recently, a company, a friend, anybody you want to say, hi, Mom?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. And so there's a couple of companies. My wife doesn't like it when I put her on the spot. Right. And I'm always on the spot, so you can't put me on the spot. I put you on the spot. And so for Open Coffee Talk, I wanted to give a couple people a shout out. Right. Number one, which I just realized that I forgot. Right. That the sponsor for today's show is our friends over at Premier Luxury Limo. Right, Premier Luxury Limo. Hopefully you guys are following the new page. My friend Bonifacio Perez with Premier Auto Custom Auto. He and I are collaborating on a new thing to help his limo service just kind of grow, right? Premier Luxury Limo, we're going to be doing some advertising stuff for them. We do the rear window, but they have a special opportunity for those of you guys who would like to get in on the ground floor when it comes to advertising on the limo, right? There's sections on the window, the door, on the limo, the windows, rear window, quarter panels, things like that, that we are going to offer a select few a free month of advertising. But what you need to do is you need to like the page, you need to follow the page, you need to share the page, and probably comment, right? So Bone put all the rules. He put out a post, right? So follow the rules. The best way to like put yourself at the top to win is to sit there and hit the 3 dots, right? Hit invite and then select all, and then it's going to send an invite to all your people, right? And so the average person has about 300 followers, right? The average person has about 300 followers, right? So if all 300 of my peeps do that, there's 300 times 300, right? Whatever the math is, right? 300 times 300. And then just imagine if yours. I know you got more, but on average, we got 300, right? So imagine if everybody listening to this went to the Premier Luxury Limo page and not only liked it themselves and followed it themselves, but they hit the 3 buttons and invite and then selected all of their friends so that they can like it too. Because this is for the community, guys. We are bringing back the limo service. Imagine yourself riding to your quinceañera in style, your wedding in style, going to the nightclub in style. Maybe you want to just take a tour of Abilene in style. Maybe you want to go out of town, or you want somebody to pick you up at the airport in style. Premier Luxury Limo is the place to go, right? And so they are our sponsors for today's show. We wanted to give them a proper shout out. Also, I want to give a shout out to Chupacabra Broadcasting. I invited them to kind of take a look at our show and see if we can't do some sort of collaborating, with the show. Wanted to give a shout out to the new rebranded Tequila's nightclub. Justin Sanchez out there. They're bringing it back. They've also made some posts. And so this is the first time that I'm talking about it because they told me not to tell anybody. And so I can keep a secret. They said, shut your mouth and do not say nothing until we tell you to. And so here I am. I was like, okay, I'm going to be quiet for now. But as soon as you tell me, I'll be talking.
I'll be talking.
That's right. And so I'm talking. Right. So I wanted to give them a shout out too. Hopefully some of the footage that you'll see that Not Included is going to help us with when we do the promotional video for Premier Luxury Limo is going to feature the Tequila's nightclub. Right. So if you're a nightclub, if you're a food truck, if you're a restaurant, if you're a business, and you'd like to be a sponsor of one of our shows, whether it's the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday, or if it's the Behind the X's and O's or the Showmates show, make sure that you message us. So that way we could give you a proper shout out. This is the live video, but whenever we edit the video, we're going to put the logos in there so that way people can be able to know, visualize who you are, but also we'll have the contact information, social medias, phone numbers, all of that stuff, right? So make sure that you get with us because the more sponsors that we have, the more things that we can do with the community, the more things that we can do with the show, the improvements that we can make, because some of the things that we might say, you never know, are going to be life-changing. I promise you, if you guys tune into the 3 C's, there's going to be something that's going to bless your life, right? And then if you guys can see the guest that we have lined up for the Behind the X's and O's, I promise you, if you tune in, these guys are going to bless you. Just the testimonies that they have, the behind the scenes, conversations that we are going to be able to have through this platform. If you tune in, I promise you, that it's going to make a difference in your life. All it takes is one nugget or two, right? It doesn't take a whole sermon to change your life. All it takes is one thing to shift your perspective, to change the way you think. And as you know, that the way you think, that's what your life becomes. As a man thinketh, so is he. As a man thinketh, so is he, right? So we got to work on our thinking every single day, right? And so make sure that you tune in to all our shows through Red Alpha Studios. Once again, it's Mondays at 9:00 for the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday, right? And every Wednesday at 6 p.m. for Behind the X's and O's, right? Daily at 8 a.m. is the Behind the X's and O's blog, right? Every Friday at 6 p.m. is the Showmates show where we talk about our shows. And so we want you to tune in. We want you to connect because we're going to be talking about what's going on in Abilene, what's going on with Red Alpha, what's going on in our world. And we're going to share, our lives with you, one podcast at a time. And so we want to thank you guys for tuning in to this show. And like I said, I don't have a sign off made just like the beginning, but I'm going to pay homage. I'm going to pay homage to a song that I want you guys to think about this, right? And so it's a little bit of a parody, but those of you guys who like Aerosmith will know exactly where this comes from, right? So to all of you guys in Red Alpha Studio Lands, we want to let you know that the light at the end of the tunnel just might be you. Red Alpha's out.
Yeah.
Keep it rap food, keep it rap food. Keep it rap food, keep it rap food.
Steady hands, cut clean, steady grind, bills drain.
Keep it rap food, keep it rap food.
7 days a week, let the hustle speak.
Keep it rap food, keep it rap food.
No rush, no skips, no ego trips.
Keep it rap food, keep it rap food.
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 Keep it rap food, keep it rap food.